We'll now have a look at the Spanish vegetarian menu. For the vegetarian paella, we need the following ingredients. For the Spanish chickpea and vegetable stew, we need the following ingredients. And for the patatas bravas, we need the following ingredients. To begin with the plan of work, we are first going to keep the chickpeas for boiling. The chickpeas have been soaked overnight or for about 8 to 10 hours, and then we are keeping it for boiling. This will take about 15 to 20 minutes. Now on the chopping board, we are going to process the vegetables for the paella. So for the paella, we are going to dice the yellow capsicum into neat dices. Then we'll process the red capsicum into neat dices. You can use any fresh vegetable. Then we are going to dice some carrots into neat dices. Make sure all the vegetables are cut into the same shape and size for uniformity. You can also use other vegetables like potatoes, broccoli. After the carrot, we are going to finely chop some onions. So this recipe for the vegetable paella is similar to the seafood paella, just that you have to omit the seafood. Okay. So it's basically vegetables cooked in a nice tomato sauce with the bomba variety of rice with some Spanish versions of paprika and olives and saffron and lots of olive oil. Okay, then we have garlic. So we're going to finely chop garlic, okay, which is a must in a paella, right? So we have finely chopped garlic, and we are just going to add some asparagus into the recipe. So we've just taken the top portion of the asparagus, which is tender, and we've just cut them into small pieces. Next, what we have green and black olives. Okay, you can process them the way you want. You can keep them whole, you can cut them into half, breadthwise or lengthwise. You can cut them into slices. You can use either the variety. Then we have lime again, which is a must in a paella. So we're just going to cut them into slices. So once we have prepped for the paella, we're just going to finely chop some parsley, which is going to go in the end. Again, if you have fresh herbs, please use as many fresh herbs as you can get, just to increase the flavor of the paella. If you're using seafood, go with parsley with fennel. Okay, if you're using meats, you can use rosemary, oregano, thyme. Then we have blanched tomatoes, which you're going to concasse. Now there are recipes of paella with and without tomatoes. The basic paella recipe has tomatoes. So we've got some blanched and concussed tomatoes. Then to begin with the paella, we have a stock pot. Now we weren't making a very big batch of the paella. Otherwise you have that specific paella wide heavy bottomed cast iron paella plate, which we had used for the seafood paella. Okay, so we've taken a stock pot here. We've taken lots of olive oil. We're going to saute some garlic. In that we're going to add in some onion. Saute the onion well till translucent, or till they become nice and soft. To the onions, we are now going to add the vegetables. So both the colored capsicums, we have peas, we have the asparagus. So saute the vegetables. Okay, they'll get nice bright in color when you saute them or fry them in oil. Okay, we are not going to cook them completely now because they are going to cook when the rice cooks. Okay, so saute them well. This should take about 1 to 2 minutes. And then to this we are going to add some salt. We're going to add some crushed black pepper. Then we're going to add some dry herbs. Again, if you have dry, you can use dry. If you have fresh herbs, please use fresh herbs. And then we're going to add some spices. Okay, so here we have some sweet paprika. Okay, then we have smoked paprika. Okay, so paprika is the variety of chili that you get in Spain, and so sweet and smoked paprika really give distinct kind of flavor in Spanish food. Then we've added some cayenne pepper. Then we've added double the amount of water that you have for the rice. Okay, you add the water first. Okay, you never saute the rice first. Okay, you always add the water first. Okay, mix it really well. Add in the saffron at this point of time. Okay, so mix it really well, and then you add the rice. So the rice that you're adding here is the bomba variety of rice. Okay, now if you don't get the imported bomba rice, you can also use boiled rice that you get here, local rice, the parboiled and dried kind of rice. Okay, what we called as ukda chawal. Now this will simmer for approximately 15 to 20 minutes. On the other gas, if you see, the chickpeas are completely cooked. We will switch off the gas, strain the chickpeas and keep it aside. Next, for the Spanish chickpea and the spinach stew, we have to process the onion and the garlic. So if you see here, the onion has been finely chopped, and we are going to finely chop the garlic as well. For the tomatoes, what we have done is we have blanched and concussed the tomatoes. Half of it has been cooked and made into a paste, and the rest is kept in the concussed form. Here if you see, we have got bread slices. We are just going to cut them into dices and keep it aside. We have also blanched almonds in water and taken the skin out and kept it in a bowl. Now if you see here, the paya is almost half cooked. We are now going to add the concussed tomatoes, mix it, and again keep a lid on top and let it cook further. Now for the Spanish chickpea and the spinach stew, we've taken a saute pan. In that we've taken some olive oil, and what we are going to do is we are going to fry the bread. Okay, now optionally you can even toast the bread inside the oven. Okay, but here just to increase the flavor, okay, we are just going to fry the bread in olive oil until it gets nice and golden brown in color and it becomes crisp. To that we are going to add the almonds as well, the blanched and peeled almonds. We're just going to quickly saute that as well, or fry that in the olive oil. It should just get a slight golden brown color, and then we switch off the gas and transfer this into a steel bowl. To this bread and almond mixture, we are going to add a little bit of cream. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are going to blend this into a smooth paste. Okay, so the cream and the white wine vinegar here are going to help to blend this mixture smooth. Okay, we need a nice smooth paste of the almonds and the bread. So just mix this lightly and this goes inside the blender. Next, what we are going to do is, to make the stew, we'll take a saute pan, okay, or a skillet, heat up some olive oil. In that we are going to blanch the spinach first. Okay, so just put in the cleaned and washed spinach leaves and saute them until they wilt. Okay, then you take the spinach out onto a pan and keep it aside. We'll add that at the end. Then in the same pan, take some more olive oil, heat up the oil, and in that we will add in the chopped garlic. Saute the garlic well. Then to that we are going to add in some chopped onions. Fry the onion and garlic well until light golden brown color. Add some more olive oil if required. Make sure that you don't brown the onion and the garlic. Then we are going to add in some cumin powder. I'm going to add in some smoked paprika powder, some sweet paprika powder. Mix this well. So we're just slightly frying the spices. Mix it well. If you think the spices are burning, you can just add a little bit of water, okay, or oil. Mix this really well. And to this we are now going to add tomato paste, which we had blanched, concussed and reduced in a pan. Alright. You can also use ready-made tomato paste. Once you cook that for about 2 or 3 minutes, you're then going to add in the blanched and concussed tomatoes. Okay, so that tomato paste is really going to give that binding to your dish. Okay, now once you cook the tomatoes again for about 2 or 3 minutes, we are going to add in some brown sugar. Mix that also well. In that we're going to add in some salt and some pepper powder. Okay, you can use white pepper powder or crushed black pepper. Mix this well. If you want, you can add some water and let the tomatoes cook if the rawness of the tomatoes is there. To this we are going to add the blended toasted bread and the almond paste. Alright, we're going to mix this really well. You can add some water to adjust the consistency. Alright, to this now we are going to add the boiled chickpeas. Don't mash them, they have to be whole. And then we add in the tossed spinach. Mix this. Again, here you can add some water because it is like a stew. Okay, it's not very thin, it's not very thick, so add water to adjust the consistency to a stew and then mix this really well. Alright, simmer this for about 2 or 3 minutes again, and the Spanish chickpea and spinach stew is done and ready to be served. So if you see here, by the time the stew is cooked, the paya here is also cooked. Alright, what we are going to do is we're going to add some finely chopped parsley. Mix it gently. We don't want the rice to break. Okay, it's a short grain rice, but still we want the rice grain to stay nice and whole. Okay, mix the chopped parsley, and then traditionally paya is served with olives spread on top. Okay, and lemon slices which is put on top of the paya. Now people have paya straight away from the paya pan. Okay, that's why the olives and the lime and all will be seen. Alright, okay, that's how traditionally the paya is served, in the pan itself. So the paya also is ready. We'll close the lid and leave it off the flame for about 2 or 3 minutes. Now to make the patatas bravas sauce, we are going to make a basic tomato sauce. So in olive oil we are going to saute some garlic. This is the basic tomato sauce. Okay, so saute garlic, onion. So when we had chopped onion, garlic, tomatoes, okay, for the paya as well as the chickpea stew, we are taking some aside for the patatas bravas sauce. Saute that. In that we are going to add some blanched and concussed tomatoes. Okay, saute that well, add some water and let it cook. The tomatoes have to cook completely. Okay, this will take about 15 to 20 minutes on a low flame. Alright, so in about 10 minutes we are going to add in some smoked paprika, some sweet paprika and some cayenne pepper, and let it cook for a further 10 minutes until the moisture completely dries out. So mix this really well. Okay, you can add some sugar in case the tomatoes are very sour. Okay, definitely add some salt and pepper. Okay, and this sauce has to completely dry out. So now the patatas brava sauce is nothing but mayonnaise which is mixed with the tomato sauce. Okay, so either you can make the mayonnaise, okay, or you can buy ready-made eggless mayonnaise from outside. Now for the potatoes, we've kept the potatoes whole with skin, taken out both the ends, and then with a spiralizer, okay, or in our local language we call it the lacha machine. Okay, so we're just going to put the potato and we are going to cut spirals from the potatoes. Okay, now this is just for presentation. Okay, patatas bravas, you can cut them into dices. Okay, you can cut them into french fries, into batons. Okay, so you can cut it. It's basically fried potatoes. Okay, so we just wanted to present it in a different style, hence we've used this machine and we have cut spirals. Okay, you can also make a tornado, okay, of the potatoes as well. Alright, so if you see here, it looks nice. Alright, so this we are going to keep in water until it is processed. Alright, now what we are going to do is we are just going to finish off the brava sauce. So for that we have mayonnaise. So here we have ready-made eggless mayonnaise. You can also make the mayonnaise using milk and oil, which we have shown in the Semfry videos. Okay, we have the strained tomato sauce that we had made. Okay, mix it and you get a nice bright orange colored patatas bravas sauce. Okay, so the sauce is ready now. If you want, you can strain this just in case you find any lumps. Then for the potatoes, we'll take it out. Okay, you can dry them if you want in a duster. Okay, we've got some corn flour. Again, here we're using plain corn flour. You all can use a mixture of corn flour, maida or refined flour and rice flour. Okay, so the corn flour is going to help the potatoes become nice and crispy. Okay, in the corn flour we're adding some salt and pepper, okay, and some sweet paprika and smoked paprika. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to dust the potatoes in the corn flour. When this is happening, make sure that you've kept oil for frying on the gas. So until the oil gets hot, okay, the potatoes here are processed and ready to be fried. So mix the corn flour with the salt, pepper and the paprika, okay, and dip or dust the potato spirals in the corn flour. Make sure that you dust it properly and all parts of the potatoes get coated, okay, with the corn flour. Now generally if there were dices of potatoes, you would have parboiled it and then fried it in oil, okay, just like how we make french fries, okay, and then tossed it with the patatas bravas sauce. So here just to kind of change the presentation. Okay, we have kept the same ingredients and the way it is processed, just a different look or appearance. So see here, the potato spirals have been coated with starch. Okay, and now they are ready to be fried. So fry these in oil. Okay, they won't take time to cook because they are very thin. Okay, the spirals are very thin, so it won't take time to cook. Don't keep the flame on very high. Okay, we don't want them to get brown. Okay, so you see that slight golden brown color. Okay, they become nice and crisp because of the corn flour. Okay, you take it out on a paper napkin, okay, for the excess oil to get drained out, and then this can be tossed, okay, can be coated with the brava sauce and served. Okay, here just for presentation we've just put the fried potatoes, dusted with some tomato powder, okay, and piped drizzled the brava sauce on top. Okay, and here we have the presentation of the paya, okay, different angles, generally served in that flat pan. That's why we've use a similar kind of pan for presentation. Okay, and then we have the Spanish chickpea and the spinach stew. So that's the vegetarian Spanish menu for y'all. Okay, we have gazpacho, vegetarian paya, patatas bravas, and the Spanish chickpea and spinach stew.